Well, I'm now joined by the employment lawyer and social media commentator, Kevin Poulter. Kevin, a very good day to you.
Hello.
Has Apple surpassed itself with these latest offerings?
I don't think it's surpassed itself. It's set itself a very high threshold in the first place, and especially with the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6 has been the best-selling iPhone, it seems, to date. And so many people out there have got them. They're now looking to sort of really just get that gold-plated punter, that consumer who's prepared to go out and spend even more money.
And they're out there.
On a phone that's looks identical to the phone they might already have, but it does have some extra specifications which will be welcomed, and wait for it, the potential for a 10-hour battery life. It might get you through the working day and a little bit into the evening, so that's something to be celebrated, I'm sure.
This is a slightly unfair question, but that won't stop me asking it. How much of Apple is down to new technology and slick marketing?
I think obviously the technology drives the marketing, but how many businesses out there can get global coverage on the TV, on the web, in double-page spreads in newspapers this morning, reviewing their products for them, selling their products for them?
But it locks people into a product, doesn't it? Because if you take, for example, the Apple Watch, you can't really use the watch effectively without the help of the telephone. We now have this television that they're marketing, and that needs the Apple apps. So everything in the household is integrated. You're tied into one product.
Well, yes and no. And what they've done for the first, well, really, what they're trying to do is to drag along people now from Android, who've been using the Android phones, by putting an Android app onto the app store, so people can effectively use an iPhone as if it was an Android phone. And now there's a collaboration with Microsoft, of all things.
But you could argue that's opportunistic for Microsoft, because they've fallen behind the curve. They've been taken by surprise.
I absolutely agree, but it does give you back into that opportunity. It's not a great opportunity, it's not a great selection to choose from, but there is some movement there, and I think what we might see moving forward is more and more collaboration, more opportunities to share products, to share apps. I think the real surprise from all of this, and not a surprise perhaps, but the next step it's taken is with the Apple TV. It's not only hooking us into now with the bigger iPad, the iPad Pro, a working, effectively, iPad, a working tablet for the office as well as for at home, the phone that we take with us everywhere, a watch which is permanently on our wrists, is now taking us to sat on the sofa at home, working out what we're using, what we're viewing, how we're viewing it, when we're viewing it.
Which some people say is rather intrusive, because it allows advertisers, other related industries, to actually gauge your life.
That's absolutely right. And Apple has control of that data, and that's going to be hugely valuable to it moving forward. Now, it's made various promises in the past.
But will it meet resistance? Because there is a privacy issue here as well.
There is. And so far, it hasn't had the resistance that other organisations have had. We've seen huge data breaches from the likes of Walmart in the past. We don't see that so much with Apple, and what they do promise is that we won't share your information with anyone else. It doesn't need to share it with anyone else. It needs to share it on its own. It's got all the information. It means it can just keep selling to us, hooking us in, and making it very, very difficult for us to leave, even though we do have the choice.
An intriguing step into the future, but Kevin Poulter will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me with your assessment of the latest Apple product launch.